What's up, everyone? Man, I love making these kind of videos. There's no pressure to edit it. I just do me. I'm glad you're here. Shoot, there's like 5,000 of you already. That's pretty sick. And I think there's probably more of you than that here because more of you are watching the videos. Anyway, today I just finished up the polishing of the GT4 RS. And it's on the TLX 8000, which would be my recommendation, by the way, for quick jacks. Go to obsessedgarage.com, buy it for me. It'd be nice if you do that. I'd appreciate that. Make a few bucks every time you do that. But the car's still sitting up on the lift, and I'm working on the wheels. I don't know if I'll get all four of them done. I just finished the left side. I'm going to do I guess it'll be the right side. I'm going to do the left side with you, left front. But I wanted to share the process. I know I've shared this a bunch, but those of you who are Porsche guys are going to want to watch this because this could be a annoying process, having to take the wheel off of the center locks and everything. But having all the right stuff makes a big difference. Some of which you can get, some of which you can't. So I'll just go from left to right and talk about all the different tools I have, and then we'll actually do the project together, and I'll show you it in use. But the first, what's up, Chase? First thing I got on the table here, these will be in the store here in the next couple of days. But these are Knipex. These are what I use to denib. I have a 60 degree, maybe a 30 degree and a 60 degree or something, or maybe it's 60 and 45. I don't know what it is, but these two I use to denib. There's not a lot of nibs on these Dunlops. And then I have some of the applicator pads. I think these are from, I don't like these very much. So normally what I use is the CarPro version. That's what I sell. But I had a big stack of these, and these are just throwaways. But suede applicator. I've got Armor wheel coating for the wheels and the calipers. I've got some of our beater towels. These are what I call the multi-purpose towels. These are a 80/20 car wash towel from the rag company that we have made in this color because I like this color for this task. I have some Rupes Reveal strong residue remover, which is a heavy concentrate isopropyl alcohol. It's like a sledgehammer. This, you can't get anymore. But the Source Garage, I think Polka, P-O-K-A, out of Poland, Polka Premium, I think they make a decent one. But this is the wheel roller stand. This was a guy who was an engineer. He has a real job, was making these, and it was just too much effort, too little payoff, I guess, for him to be moonlighting on the side. But we have this wheel stand. I'll probably make one at some point. I have what I call wax removal towel, but I'm using this to remove the coating. And then I've got Stoner's Terminator for the tires. This is the secret weapon for tires. CarPro Eraser in a press-all bottle. I should probably put that Rupes in a press-all bottle as well. This is a Delrin wheel guide from Smokin' GTS on Renless. I don't think he makes these anymore. You can buy these from Porsche. They're just really expensive, but this is in a Delrin plastic. And then I have some Castrol Optimal paste because I have to reapply. I need to get a new tube of this. This is my original tube I've had since 2014. But we'll try not to get anti-seize all over everything. I've got some, I don't like these ones, but the SAS gloves. Just kind of using up the rest of my nitrile-free, what do they call this? Powder-free gloves. And a couple of those. I've got OG tire dressing and the OG tire dressing applicator. And then I've got the Koken ratchet with a 3/4 adapter. And then this guy. This, if you're a Porsche guy, I'll put the link in the description. Just freaking do it. I know it's a lot of money, but I'm telling you, this is what makes this whole process. It makes it more enjoyable, easier, quicker than if you had a 5 or 6 lug normal car. So you want this high torque. It's $5,000. It's absolute insanity, but it makes this a dream. I've got 2 center lock cars. If you have 1 center lock car, don't tell me you can't swing the 5Gs. You just bought a frickin' $200,000 car or $300,000 car. You can swing this. But this sucker, I'm gonna show you in a second, if you haven't seen this before, will change your life. I get it, it's ridiculous, but it's freaking awesome. It's very precise. I can have precise torque. You'll see the wheels aren't torqued properly from the factory. This is probably gonna be hard to get off. So hopefully I don't have to get out another breaker bar. But anyway, let's get to work. Now, you can do all this stuff with the regular breaker bar and everything, but first of all, when you're taking a center lock off, per Porsche, the center lock should not be broken with the wheel on the ground. I used to have a video where people would give me a hard time, just break it on the ground. So you're not supposed to. And I don't need to now because I have the high torque tool. But this little pick tool comes in the car with the center lock socket. Those are in the front there, front trunk area. You take this little tool, we pop the RS off, like so. And then we get access to our center lock nut. You take this guy and we put it in place. Now this will contact the wheel. I didn't like this at all. I fought high torque on this a lot. But once you find the spot that fits, you have to find to line up here. It barely kisses the wheel, so there's no problem. I used to try to tuck a towel in there. You don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go to loosen. Now, this will probably be too heavily torqued, so you can see it's gonna struggle a little bit. But once we get it properly torqued, it'll go on and come off simply. So it only does that when it's been over torqued. So that was torqued beyond 443 foot-pounds. You could sit here and let it do it, but what I do is I take the socket off. Let's turn our tool off because we're going to be here for a while. Power off. Set this aside. And then I grab my socket or my ratchet. So you could sit there, but because it's a precise torque tool, I don't like to let it sit there and run. So I probably am due to send it in. You should send it in once every couple of years to get calibrated. And so I like to remove it just with the ratchet. We're going to set this whole assembly aside because you're supposed to, Porsche procedure is to anti-seize this after every removal. And you can see it's pretty paltry amount of product on there. So I'm going to set this on the bench, all in one piece, and we'll reapply before we install. Now, these are magnesium wheels, super light. I don't need this tool, but again, this just makes it so that I don't have any slip-ups and accidentally chip my rotor, which would be very unlikely, but this wheel is super lightweight. I don't know, still uncertain about my risque blue and yellow choice here, but I'm pretty sure I like it. I want to love it. So you can see the wheel guide then ensures that the wheel comes off. But I mean, this wheel with the tire probably weighs like 30 pounds. It's not heavy at all. I mean, look at that. All right, so that takes the removal process and makes it, I think, kind of fun. It makes me feel good that I'm getting $1 or $2 out of my $5,000 investment. So let's go put this up and get it cleaned up. Tell you what, man, that wheel does look good sitting right there, doesn't it? Look at that. Whew. That's a thing of beauty. All right, so I'm gonna use CarPro Eraser here. I did clean the wheels, but not deep cleaned. So there's some gunk on here, some sand and some leftover funkiness. I want to get really deeply cleaned. I soak this down. Try not to spray my TV. Turn this sideways. And then I'll just use our beater towels here to clean this thing up. Let's turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So what I like to do, I'll superficially clean the face of the wheel here. Then we'll clean the tires, and then I'll do a final cleaning. And then we're ready to apply. I'm going to do 2 coats back to back on this. And I'll show you that. Any kind of spoked wheel like this is not the most fun to do. Gosh, I wonder how many wheels and tire combos I've done in the last 5 or 6 years since starting this, or I guess 10 years. Man, I wonder how many. I don't know how many cars I've had. You figure each car I've had, generally have had at least a set, most cases multiple sets of wheels as I trial and error my way into it. So I've done other people's wheels too, and so I seem that I've done this a lot. So this process of cleaning wheels takes some time to do, but then from here on out, I'll make my wheel cleaning easier, quicker, easier, more efficient. But you got to go through the pain taking your wheel off. I think it's a waste of time. If you don't remove your wheel, you got to take it off. Trying to do it with the wheel on the car is a waste. So if these weren't brand new, I would add a step to the process and do a iron removal process. But because they are brand new, I don't find the need to do that. Let me grab. Just kind of get this. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit more cleanup to do. Okay, so let's do our tires. Let me put some gloves on. Gonna denib this sucker first. Man, that wheel looks so good. Look how good that looks. Dang it. It's awesome. Look even better with my cabinet closed. Yeah. Tell you what, I love this garage, but I'm excited for my HQ garage that we're going to be building. There's only a nib right on this edge here, and that's on this lip, on the rim protector lip, and that's it. In the front and back. I want to cut it nice and flush where it doesn't look like there was ever a little nib there. So when I make one of these, what I want these uppers to be able to push in so they're adjustable. So that way, because the wheel walks, because the wheel isn't perfectly flat, or the tire isn't flat. And so the tire and wheel walk around on here. It walks away from you or walks to you. It just kind of gets gets annoying. So I'd love to solve that if we made one. I think it's not if we make one, it's when we make one. There we go. Okay. So for the nibs, we'll leave those all sitting right there. Let's clean the tire. And because this is my GT4 RS, let's clean the front and back. I always spray it on the towel, especially in a wheel that's satin. Pretty dirty, hey? Jeez. Flip it around. So this towel will get sacrificed. Move this camera a little further over here. So I'm kind of standing in the way. Gotta get another can. I'll use probably, my guess is on a set of 4 wheels, a 1/4 can. That's why if you buy like my wheel cleaning, wheel and tire package, I sell it with 4 cans of this stuff. I'd like to get it in totes where we don't have to do it aerosolized. I prefer it not be. Okay, so wheels are now ready to go. So this is where I grab a fresh towel and I take the reveal. I spray it on the towel. And we'll go around and do our final prep wipe. Like I said, this is like the sledgehammer. Making sure that my wheel is ready to accept the coating. To get the job done. I'm trying to stay out of your way. And we should do. Let's come this way because I'm right-handed. That's better. Now, something didn't feel right. I'm like, I've done this for you a bunch. Why can't I get this right? Okay, let's flip it around. Stuff is great, man. I only use it for this. The final pre-coating wipe on my wheels. But I feel really good about, and the reason why I started using is like I had it laying around and I had one wheel I couldn't get the stuff off, and this was the only thing that worked. I feel a lot better if I get rid of all these nibs that are sitting here. Because I did all my new Swiss Tracks flooring, I normally just dump it on the floor, but I'm gonna keep this place clean. Okay, so now let's find a reference point. This will be our reference point. On the blue you can see it, but it's good practice to find a reference point. One bottle will easily do 2 coats on 4 wheels. Because these are satin, I feel like I need to use more product than I normally would. Just because the wheel has a little texture to it, so it kind of sops up the coating a little bit more than you'd normally get on a gloss wheel. And you'll need one of these suede applicators per wheel. You may need more if you're not going to do what I'm doing, which is I'm doing 2 coats immediately, which is probably not advisable. This product doesn't need 2 coats. I mainly do 2 just in case I miss a spot. The second coat goes on a little quicker anyway. So I think it's not bad practice to just do it. And I always do the barrel first and the backside here, because there will be a little bit of pushing the product onto the front. I don't want to have any of that left over and end up with high spots. On this wheel, you can't polish it off. Go back to our reference point. Just right here. Shoot, I stopped at the wrong reference point. I stopped at that one. Not smart. There we go. Now it's complete. I take my towel and I wipe it flat. That's it. Anytime you coat a satin wheel, there's just a magical cleanliness to it that you get. There's a slight sheen change, but it's like all I can think of is it's like a sigh. It's like, yeah, this is the way I'm supposed to be. I'm probably making that up, but that's the feeling that I get when I do this. Back to our reference point, which will be our valve stem. I really don't like doing this. This kind of sucks. Especially on, it seems like every wheel I have is just like this, so it's always annoying. My fingers are always tired after doing this. I really want to get this knocked out, so I'll probably do all 4 to this morning. And then I can get the car off the lift, because tomorrow I'm doing for the OG channel, I'm doing a wash all my cars in 30 minutes. Including this one, which wouldn't be advisable. I'm supposed to get the coating wet, but it'll be all right. It'll have about 24 hours to cure, so we'll be okay. We're also going to do the caliper as well. So see, you can't do all this with the wheel on to get it. I think the most value is the coating of the barrels, and you can't get the whole thing if it's on the car. Unless you just had really tiny rotors and calipers and really big wheels. This just doesn't work. So if you Porsche guys, you gotta go on obsessedgarage.com and get the darn high torque tool. I'm telling you, even if you're not mechanically inclined, as long as you can figure out how to use a jack, because you don't need quick jacks, but you could just jack the thing up one corner at a time. And actually, a Porsche, if you jack up one corner, it'll lift the whole side of the car. So you could get do the whole car, take the wheels off without having to worry about, precision torquing and all that stuff, because it'll do it all for you. All right, that's coat number 1. Go back to our reference point. We start right here. And we wipe it flat. Man, it's quiet around here. Everybody's still sleeping. I'll coat that inner lip at the very end. Make sure that inner lip isn't exposed, so it doesn't matter. It's behind the center lock nut. I'll show you what I do. So best practice would be, I suspect this car is not going to see a lot of rain, so the best practice would be put one coat on, let it cure for a while, at least a few hours, then put the second coat. I just had to have these blue wheels. Blue magnesium. Doesn't look like much. Certainly doesn't look like what are these? 4,000, 5,000 hours a piece. It's awesome. All right, let's flip it around. Let's do the other side again. Second coat. See, this can go, I'm talking to myself here, but this can go relatively quickly. Better than the truck tires take 30 minutes per tire to denib. So you do both sides, it was like 40 something minutes or something like that. So this, I'm like 30 minutes per corner. A few hours, have the whole car done. That's not too bad. If you're going to detail your car, man, I just couldn't imagine not doing this. This to me is probably one of the most important things to do, because it makes your whole washing user experience so much better. ownership experience, I should say, because especially when you have carbon ceramics and your wheel is just super easy to clean. I mean, maybe you don't care if your wheels are clean, but certainly on these guys, these Magnesium expensive boys, man, shoot. I'll probably use 2 towels, so for the rears, I'll grab another set out, or grab another towel out. And I actually like to dress the tires on the car, so we'll do that at the very end. Okay. Nice. Last step. See, when you do all the different sponges and sponge applicators, even though this is annoying to hold on to, the suede applicator, I just feel like you don't get as good coverage. Like it's hard to get into all these, it's hard enough to get into all these little crevices with the suede. Doing it with a sponge, you miss all kinds of spots. So I find this to be the best method. Not the most enjoyable method, but the best for getting solid, even coverage. I need to have something going on in the background to do this though. This is mind-numbing. Tell you what, I'm gonna be glad. This is, I'm telling you, when I have a car, like I have that Tesla back there and I know it isn't detailed. And it's just always in the background of my brain, no matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. Like I want to get that done. It's that feeling that makes me go through this process. I don't love this process, but I love when it's done. I love the result of it. And I love to think about, or I love the pursuit of knowing that I've got to mess with all kinds of cool products. But you want to take the time, take the care to, even though I won't have this thing forever, I don't know, it's just something about the pride of ownership, the pursuit of quality. And there's a certain extra requirement by people like us to have that satisfaction. It's almost like you need to pay your dues. I need to suffer a little bit in order to obtain the pride. The pride just doesn't show up automatically. It's not given. It's rewarded from effort and strife. I don't know how to explain it, but once the dues are paid, then it seems to me that then it's time to go pay some more dues, to keep paying them in perpetuity forever. And something about the addiction to that. And then to add to that fuel in my case, in that it's become my life and business and everything. There's a bit of gluttony for punishment there, that it's almost like a need for punishment. It's like I don't deserve it unless I do it. And once I do it, then I can somewhat relax in it. Can at least accept it. Relaxing in it is probably not an option. Okay, so that's a wrap. Now let's do the caliper. See, it's not that bad. I like to do, because the rotor hat is exposed, so I like to do that. And the caliper. And notice I did get a little overspray of the IPA on the carbon ceramic. People get too bent out of shape about the fragility of carbon ceramics. I think a lot of it in the beginning was just there's a lot of rumors that would spread around. Oh, don't use this or that because it's going to ruin it. Like people just making stuff up. Well, my experience with this is my, who knows, 20th set of carbon ceramics. I've done factory, aftermarket. I've had them on many cars. Never had any negative experience with any of them. They're pretty bulletproof. Maybe take a little bit of precaution when you're taking your wheel off. You don't want to chip the front of it or anything, but other than that, they've been awesome. Okay, so that's ready to go. Just a real simple wipe down. And do the same thing, a couple of quick back-to-back coats. And then we put our wheel on. And we're living the dream. Wheel on, dress the tires, and we can feel good about our car. It's not rocket science here. Spread it, wipe it. That's it. So this is a high temp, high solids wheel specific coating. I think this is the best coating. I know what the best coating for wheels currently that exists. Okay. I'm not sure if I'll lower this. I probably will. I have the new CSM. I've got the trifecta here. I've got a precision alignment system. I've got a precise center lock removal tool, and then I have the precise Hunter road force mounting and balancing system. I'm living the darn car guy dream. You know, I wanted to buy a Hunter alignment rack, but that takes up so much space and so much money that the CSM system is actually much more accurate and goes in a Pelican case. And I can get it out, you know, the twice a year that I need it. Let's do one more while we're at it. Love these brakes, man. You know, you can get the caliper in black now as an option, but And I did that on my Brewster. It just doesn't feel right if it's not yellow. Dunzo. Boom. Okay. Put our wheel on. See, unnecessary to have this, but it's nice. Per proper procedure, you should reapply Optimal on here, like so. A nice even layer like that. Porsche gents. And then put a little extra on your finger, put it on the threads, make sure that nothing's galled, and you're good. I think you're supposed to put it on the wheel too, but I don't do that. Then you take your glove and you flip it around. Try to avoid getting it everywhere. Push the face of the wheel in flush here. Put this on. I don't even need the coking. Okay, do that. And now the best part, most fun part. Turn this sucker on. Switch to tighten instead of loosen. And you just hold the trigger down, you don't let go. Does a quarter turn, loosen, and then a retorque. To 600 Newton meters. That's it. Tell me that isn't the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. Turn it off. I love it. I love it so much. It's so good. I have to get this last little spot here. Oops. Put my cap on first, then I do this. Okay, last step, dress the tires. This makes the universe feel correct. So I'm gonna glop this on here, heavy. Maybe not heavy, but it's gonna look shiny. And then after the first wash, then we'll have the proper finish. So I'll let this heavy coat, I don't know if it soaks in or what it does, but I just find that that's the best procedure. These tires, these Dunlops actually accept dressing really well. They're just very dressable. Some tires are not very dressable. And this is the OG tire dressing brush. I think I really want a tiny little bristle for the lip here. I don't like how I have a tendency to get it all over the face of the wheel. So I'll leave that extra on there. On the tire, that is. And that's how we'll do it. That's a wrap. So I'll do that to the rears. So I already did the other side. I'll do that to the rears. And we'll be golden. Pretty sick, eh? Anyway, thanks for watching. Get all this stuff from the OG store. Helps me out. Next video on the 4RS, I don't know, probably interior, or maybe exhaust. Maybe it'll be at the track, I don't know. But it's about to leave me for probably a month to go get the PPF done. Thanks for watching, see you soon.